Welcome back, everybody, to the Real Madrid Galacticos rebuild. Today, we've got the Champions League group stage draw, and we're also going to play the home game against Vallecano. Before we get started, let's have a look at how we've gone since that Super Cup win. So, as you can see, 2 wins out of 2, beating Villarreal 3-0 at home. Villarreal at the time were top of the league. I think we were down in like 8th. Mbappe scoring. Nacho, Benzema, who started on the bench because Adeyemi obviously had that good game against Barca, so I thought I'd give Adeyemi a chance. Benzema comes off the bench, gets a goal, really giving me a bit of like dilemmas there. Alaba started on the bench, hasn't, like I said, he hasn't started a game since that poor performance away at Barcelona. Played Valladolid 2-0, beat them 2-0 away. As you can see, we have a new player there, but we'll get to that in a minute. Obviously, they scored on their debut. Dani Olmo also scored another goal. We had to do a bit of rotation here. I played Dani Olmo and Benzema up top. Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, who come in for what's his name, Sensio. Already, you can see that we've made some transfer business. So let's just have a quick look at that. So first of the outs, only the one player going for actual money was Odriozola. He was on loan last season at Fiorentina. Didn't really fit into my squad. 10 mil from Napoli. Simple. Then we get to the big in. We've brought that elite centre back that I wanted. It was a toss up between Bastoni and De Ligt. The main selling point to me was that Bastoni's left footed, whereas De Ligt is right, although De Ligt is a little bit more expensive as well, so I don't know if we would have actually afforded him. We probably paid a bit too much money, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I can have a look here. So yeah, so 70 mil with add-ons that'll add up to 85. We paid 40 up front. I think it was 30 over 3 years, and then there was like clauses of 50 appearances, get more money and stuff like that. And I think win Champions League was one. I think that's us done now. We've got nothing left in the transfer budget, and unless we sell someone, I won't be looking to bring anyone else in. The only possible thing could be either Camavinga or Ravella will go on loan, but I'm erring more towards Camavinga because obviously Ravella was on loan last season as well. Right, so here's the Champions League draw. Let's just put all the first teams in their groups. So out of pot two, there's probably the easiest will be Roma or Lyon. Zebra can be tough side. Obviously Liverpool, Man United, Atletico Madrid, Bayern, even Arsenal. Arsenal are a good side on this year's Football Manager. Don't really want any of them. So Arsenal go into the intergroup. We get Roma, which is absolutely perfect. Atletico go into PSG. Bayern, Man City. Lyon, Porto. Juventus, Borussia Dortmund. Liverpool, Barca, and Ajax, Man United. Salzburg go into the intergroup. We get Dynamo Kiev. Zenit join the PSG group, Benfica into the Man City, Milan, Lyon, Porto, Dortmund, Juve, Valencia, Sporting join Barca, Basel go into Ajax. We get Genk. I mean, looking at that, we have definitely got the easiest group out of all of these groups. I think I think the toughest would probably be maybe the Bayern one. Looking at those. So Group H, I would expect Ajax and Man United to go through. Group G, you'd expect Liverpool, Barca. Group F could be any one of them three: Zebra, Dortmund, and Valencia. Group E, again, it could be Porto, Lyon, or Milan, or even Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg obviously got to the semi-finals last year and we knocked them out, so they're not to be like snuffed at. Bayern, City, you'd expect them to be too good for Benfica and Olympiacos. Same with PSG and Atletico against Zenit and Borussia Mönchengladbach. Our group, I would expect Roma to join us, but I've seen stranger things on Football Manager. Arsenal, Inter, Monaco. Monaco are a good side. I think they most of the time come second to PSG. Salzburg again, a team that can cause a bit of an upset here and there. But yeah, definitely happy with that group draw, and we should be getting through to the next round quite comfortably looking at our group. Even the media believe that we got an easy group. Okay, so I had every intention of playing this match live on video, but I messed up and I accidentally played the game and forgot to resume the recording. So what we're going to do is just going to go through the goals and yeah, it was an easy, comfortable game looking at the stats. Vallecano didn't really offer anything. But yeah, this was an absolute worldie from Casemiro, picking out the top corner. Great goal. And then this was a good little bit of football. Benzema out wide to Alaba. He puts it across and Mbappe can't miss really. Unmarked that close. He's always going to score. Bastoni getting his second in 2 games. Absolute bullet header coming in at the back post. And this was an absolute shambles from Courtois. Look at this. He just punches it out to their striker. And it's a sitter. It's an open goal. It's shocking. But yeah, stats wise, we absolutely dominated. Dominated the ball. Millions of chances. They only really, I think first half didn't even have a single shot. It weren't until like the end of the game where we started to tire, where cracks started to appear, where they exploited. I also brought Rovella on for a couple of minutes. So yeah, he got half hour run out. Got 6.8, so not too bad. But this is the key thing here. 3 key passes, 1 clear-cut chance created. I mean, is it a sign of things to come? He's still got some time to develop as well. But yeah, now we're going to be looking at the end of the transfer window. We're not probably going to be doing any actual business of people coming in. The only thing we're probably going to do is we're going to loan some players out to get game time that I don't think we're going to get much game time here. So like Rodrigo, he just doesn't fit in at the moment. So we're going to look to loan him out. And I think I'm going to loan Camavinga because one, he's 19, whereas Ravella's 20. So he's still got another year of like development behind Ravella. And I kind of want to make sure that he does develop by getting game time. Whereas Ravella, I'll give him minutes here and there. But Camavinga didn't get much last season, and I think it halted his progression a little bit. You never know though. We might have a big offer coming for one of our players, and I'll look at selling him, especially if it's someone like Alaba or Hazard. And if we do get a big offer come in, we might reinvest that money and sign someone somewhere else. Obviously, we need a right winger for when Asensio is not playing in very good form or if he's injured. Because at the moment, we don't have anyone out there with a left foot. Obviously, Mbappe's playing at the moment. He's doing quite well. I think he's got an assist and a goal in the 2 games he's played there. But I do want to look for a left-footed player out there. So here's transfer deadline day. This is all the gossip. So apparently we're looking at signing Christian Romero as a centre back, but complete utter smoke because we've brought in Bastoni and we don't really need another centre back yet. And if I do get anyone and pay that sort of money, I'll be looking at getting Delic, not Romero. We're also linked with Edson Alvarez. Again, another centre back. Can play centre mid, defensive mid, but doesn't really fit into what we would want. Outgoings, Juventus are linked with Valverde. I mean, unless they're offering me over 100 million, he won't be going because he started the season really well. And then Leon are linked with Rodrigo, looking to loan him out with an obligation to buy. And to be honest, he doesn't really fit into my team at all. Like, I've got so much better options in those positions that I just feel like if Leon do want to take him on loan and they put a thing to buy where they're going to buy him for like 30 plus, I'll take it. Right, so Danny Carvajal, we offered him out for 25 million. He's valued between 32 and 35, and Juventus have come in and offered half of what we offered him out for, so that's definitely going to be a no. Like, are they actually taking the mick there? One of our prospects, Renia, I don't really know how you pronounce it. Young Brazilian, he was on loan last season at Dortmund. He's obviously not going to get game time for us, and although they're not going to be paying any of his wages, they're going to be paying us 95 grand a month as long as he plays. If he doesn't, 235. Using him as a regular starter. Again, he's a player who's going to need game time, so we're going to accept that. I might have to convince him to sign there though. Another player who I ideally want to give game time to, but with Alaba now dropping out of centre back and more than likely playing on the left, his game time's going to be cut with Mendy also there. So I feel like this is a logical deal. Let's see if we can try and get him to agree to be a regular starter. Mallorca said that's fine, so we'll accept that. Unfortunately, Renier has rejected the loan move to Zaragoza, so if he comes moaning that he's not playing, it's going to be his own choice, really, or his own fault. Right, Gutierrez has agreed to go to Mallorca, so that's one player that I wanted game time for getting it. What we are going to do though is we're going to offer these out to clubs where they're not even going to have to pay any wages. I just want them to be regular starters. So Rodrigo's one. Camavinga's going to be the next. Again, regular starter. I do want him to be playing in central midfield though, because we don't really play with a defensive midfielder. And then the last one, which will be Renier. We didn't really get any um, offers apart from that Zaragoza one when we last offered him out. Regular starter, central midfield, and fingers crossed we get some offers come through for them. And these are the issues that we're potentially looking at with loaning these three out. So Camavinga, all of these clubs feel that he doesn't have sufficient interest to actually go there, and then it's just saying that Rodrigo and Renier have failed to attract anyone to even contemplate it. Right, so we've received an offer for Rodrigo from Roma. They're going to be offering us 90 grand a month, covering 20% of his wages, and he's going to be an important player. That's perfect for us. All I'm really bothered about is him just getting game time, really. And thankfully, he's agreed to go there. And the one thing I actually love about the transfer window when it gets to like the last couple of hours is all of a sudden you start to get interest in these players because teams are panicking that they need to make signings. And fingers crossed we get some offers for the other two that we want to loan out. Right, deadline day has passed. Unfortunately, we didn't get any more offers come in. Didn't even have interest, which is quite surprising. I mean, you got the likes of players like Camavinga, who you can have and not pay any wages towards, and no one even thought, you know what, we'll just put the offer in. If he rejects us, he rejects us. Like, I don't get my head around that. Top deadline day deal was at 24.5 million for Thomas Delaney, who went from Sevilla to Tottenham. And what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at the transfers of um, this season and see who strengthened and who sold some of their key players. So this is all the top deals this season. Obviously, we had the biggest signing with Bastoni for 70 million. Alexander Isaac left Real Sociedad, joined Dortmund for 59. Saul joining Liverpool for 37. Atletico spending 33 of that to bring in Jan Bednarek. I mean, is that really, is he worth that much money? Don't think he is. And from the looks of it, no one has actually spent any money. Most of these signings are all like players going out. So what we're going to do instead, we're going to have a look at like sort of all the top sides and their transfers. So we'll start off with Barcelona. So transfer history. And as you can see, they haven't brought anybody in. They've sold two players and loaned out two. Antoine Griezmann going out to Juventus on loan, 2.7 million total fee. And I mean, this guy's on stupid wages, 625 grand a week for another 2 years. Like, he's really not that good of a player. Next up, we'll have a look at Atletico Madrid. So they brought in two players. Obviously, Bednarek, which we saw was on deadline. But before that, they brought in one player on a free, 27-year-old backup keeper. They did make some money in sales though. Obviously, selling Saul to Liverpool. They sold Mario Hermoso to Tottenham as well. And Renan Lodi for 2.5 million to Juventus. That's a bargain in my eyes. Next, we'll look at Valencia, who I think finished fourth last season. They sold nobody. They brought in three players, not really spending any money though. 2.5 million for a left back who doesn't look great. Got this guy in on a free. Looks like a backup centre half. And Wissa, striker from Brentford. Again, looks a backup striker. And then lastly, we're going to check out Celta Vigo, who the team I'm quite looking forward to seeing if they improve again this year. They brought in Kevin Malquit, 31-year-old right back. I think he's just to add a bit of depth. And Matteo Joseph, a young striker, 18 years of age on a free. Never know, might develop. But they sold nobody. So it's only really us that have actually got stronger, and we won the league last year. So surely that will mean that we don't actually have anything to worry about. Before we go, we are going to have a quick look at all of the transfers around Europe, see what the biggest deals were. So in August, the Bastoni deal was the biggest. Andre Silva going for 45 million to Dortmund. So that means they must have spent close to 120 million on just two strikers. So let's have a look here. So yeah, Isaac for 60. Yeah, 105 million on two strikers. They did sell Haaland though to PSG for 148, so they must be hoping that one of them's going to fill his boots. And then in July, the biggest transfer was Haaland, 148. Ruben Neves joining Bayern for 60. Inacio also joining PSG for 38.5. And Adama Traore going to Milan from Wolves for 35. PSG must have spent quite a lot of money then. Yeah, 214 million. And then in June, the biggest transfer, which looks absolutely ridiculous to me, was Danny Ings going to Newcastle for 68 million. What is that about? A 30-year-old, and I'm pretty sure you could get better for your money there, but Newcastle are full of money and they're obviously just going to splash the cash wherever they can. We are going to, before we go, have a quick look at what else they brought in. So the end of last season, they brought in Keylor Navas from PSG. Kieran Trippier joined there for 35 million. Benassa for 55. Barbosa for 21. This guy for 32. I don't really know who he is, but he's a 30-year-old centre back. And then this season, Luke Thomas on loan. That's quite a good signing. He's joining permanently as well, so they must have agreed a fee. Yeah, man, they got to pay 22 million at the end of the season. He develops into quite a good left back, to be fair. And Douglas Santos, another left back, but he does look to be better than Luke Thomas at the moment, so that might not be a bad signing. And then this 20-year-old winger from Notts Forest, who's out on loan at Aberdeen. So all in all, not the craziest of transfer windows. So obviously, fixtures, we don't really have any games, big games really, for a while. So what we might do is we will come back at the beginning of next year where we play Celta Vigo, who are second at the moment. Whether they'll still be there by the time we play them, I'm not too sure, but that, like I've said before, they're a team that I'm quite interested in seeing how they develop under their manager, because he must be doing well there. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon.